Hello, this is Greg Man for Good Man Radio Show on this Tuesday. Everybody's having a great day on this Tuesday. A lot going on, basically, depending on where you're at. We got a lot of cold, heavy rain here in Greenville. Nasty. I heard severe weather going on in the middle of the country, around Alabama and Tennessee and most of Georgia. And coming this way on Thursday, I'm hearing. Basically starting Wednesday night and a Thursday for severe weather here in Greenville, South Carolina. Not much going on. I'm still talking about South Carolina Comic-Con coming April 17th, 18th at the Greenville. Damn, I can't even talk. Excuse my language. Greenville Convention Center. There we go. Ooh, I don't know what's wrong with me today. My wife asked me, did you do your podcast today? Or your show? No, well, I'm doing one now, finally. Don't forget tomorrow night, AEW, All Elite Wrestling on Dynamite on TNT at 8 o'clock. Unless you want to catch the West Coast feed, depending on you have direct to TV or whatever you got. I record the 11 o'clock feed so I can go back and watch it the next day. And everything. But, let's see. My show brought to you by Pringles. Pringles tater chips. Can't just eat one. I can stack them and put them all in my big mouth. That's a funny one. It's true. I can. I think what's to say. I don't know if we're ever going to have downtown alive. People are pushing stuff to get open since all these vaccinations and stuff, but it's still too risky. Because you got some people that ain't got nothing, and there's some that do. You know, you can't tell which one has it and which one don't. You don't know. See, they still could carry this stuff that I've been reading and everything, and you just don't know which way it could go or anything. I know I got my first shot. Now I'm waiting to try to figure out how I'm going to get the second one before we go out of town on April 5th. I like to get it before we go anywhere on the road because I don't know which way it might affect me and her both. Because I heard that second one's a doozy. I don't know, I probably end up having a rough time with it too. Who knows? I know the weather's changing on us and everything, and she's having a rough time with her asthma, and me, I've been just blah. It's like, sleeping weather, kind of. It's like dark and gloomy and everything else. How many of y'all got used to the time change yet? I still ain't. I keep thinking it's an hour behind, and I got enough time to do stuff, and I don't. And that's another thing, help you change your time ahead. Some states don't. There are certain states that don't do this. It get confusing after a while. But they keep talking about they want to do away with it, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen either. But, because I like that. And one Saturday I got up and went to work. I was going to go to work, but it was daylight for the first time ever. Most times I go, it's 5 or 6, it's dead dark. I hate sitting there in the dark. Never know who's going to come up on you. This is sitting there in the car. There's not much lighting. Well, there's lighting out there this time finally, but before it was like spooky and everything. I'm a big ghost believer. I watch probably all these paranormals. We was trying to catch up on the Ghost Nations. We're down to one more episode, and we're caught up with them for the rest of the season. Next will be Kindred Spirits. We love that show too. I don't know how many of y'all watched most of the ghosts and paranormal stuff and everything. And I always love having guests. I want to have a guest on my show with paranormal, baseball, sports, NASCAR, whatever we want to talk about. Even if you want to promote your music, I love having music guests, comedians. Because I had Joe Bronzy, my first comedian on. He was on the actual cruise ship we was on. We got married on, and then I had Greg Morton from American Got Talent. A very good guy and everything. I'd like to meet him in person next if he ever comes here in Greenville. I'm trying to get Moobies, the fake, the restaurant. They had the fake restaurant in Clerks 2 and all that stuff to come to Greenville. But I don't know when that's going to happen or anything. But you just never know what you can have and stuff. Sorry, pouring ring again. I hear it in the background. I love having all these cool things that come up, and I wouldn't be watching wrestling. It wasn't, again, for all the AEW. AEW, what started a fire back in wrestling fans of the old. They have got the original stuff. They're going nonstop, all out, whatever they can do. Blood. I love watching stuff with chairs and trash cans and all that stuff. Reminds me of old WCW Uncensored, when the Harlem Heat versus the Nasty Boys and going all out. That's the kind of wrestling I like. I've been trying to find WCW Uncensored, the first one, because Dustin Rhodes was in that first one, and he was wrestling. I think it was Arn Anderson in the back of a truck. And he was going down the highway wrestling. It was crazy. I'll never forget that one. I watched the first Starrcade from Satellite, Starrcade 84. I watched Starrcade 85. I used to get all the Starrcades at Thanksgiving. That's one thing I miss about wrestling was back in the days with Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving night, watch wrestling. You knew you were going to watch it and everything. I was a big prepared for it every year back in them 80s years. I used to watch it with my grandpa and stuff and watch wrestling with him, and I miss him a lot and everything, but those the good times. And I'll never forget watching Dusty Rhodes get his arm broken when the Horsemen attacked him out in Jim Cracker Promotions outside there. I had the actual. I had the audio. I did have the audio on cassette tape at one time. I even had the audio of Magnum TA decking the president of NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, one time. It was hilarious. His pop, pop, pop. I found the video finally and seen it over and over so many times. And you hear me and my brother just dying laughing at that scene. Reprimand this. I'll never forget that wording. You remember a lot of crazy things and stuff happening in wrestling. I used to do wrestling trivia with some show as Rock 101, the local radio station here in Greenville, Rock 101, used to do wrestling trivia in the mornings. I used to get up and win stuff because I knew the answers. That's how, good I was knowing what happened back in the days. I was in the closet just a while ago looking at my WCW jacket with Sting, flat hair, makeup, yellow, I don't know, it's really close up on the back of that shirt, on that jacket of Sting on the back of WCW. I bought that jacket several years ago, and I hung on to it because it has Sting on the back of it. It was the coolest jacket ever. And I found a picture of my, my autographs I have of Ric Flair and Tully Blanchard, and I'm looking like I need Arn Anderson and Lex Luger to complete the Four Horsemen part. I won't be able to get no Road Warriors or Dusty Rhodes on it. Nikita, I don't know if I ever will that one. That might not ever happen either. But who knows? I could have had Arn several times if I know my friend was going where he was going. I would love to have him got that one for me. But I gotta talk to him soon. I need to see if we can set up an interview here and talk about wrestling days. Talk about whatever. He's right now getting a lot of trying to rehabilitate from all the stuff he's been through in wrestling, and it's starting to catch up with him, and his body's finally taking a toll. Some of the injuries he had back then. But he had wrestled the greats. He wrestled Sting. He wrestled all kind of cool guys back in the days. Some about took his head off by the Road Warriors and stuff like that. Just do a search on David Isley. You'll find out who I'm talking about. I met him. My wife was a friend with somebody he was dating, and that's how I met him. I didn't even know he wrestled, and they told me later. I lit up like a Christmas tree the first time we met. Because I was diehard into it still back then. I have cruise shirts of places I got cruise shirts from and stuff like that, passes of wrestling and everything else. Pretty fun. But I'm going to jumping out of here. I don't want to keep the show going. I'll be back tomorrow for the Wednesday show. We've been halfway through the work week. Call it hump day, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. But I'm going to jumping out here. This is Greg the Man for Greg Ramey Show. Peace. I'm out. Don't forget to check my pages out. You can check my Facebook / Greg the Man 45 out. They changed my Spreaker.com to Greg the Man. No, Spreaker.com /user / Greg the Man now. I wish they didn't change it. I wish they left it alone. Kind of messed me up, but oh well. But you still find me on Facebook. You can get to that page. If you even Google the Greg the Man Radio Show, you can listen to me on TuneIn Radio, radio.com, iHeart Radio, anywhere you listen to podcasts probably. But most of the time I'm on anywhere. I need to go back on TuneIn Radio and start listening to myself again. To check it out how things are going with it. But I'll end up getting out of here, and I hope everybody has a great day. This is Greg the Man for Greg Radio Show. Peace. I'm out.
Suck it to yourself.
Suck it to me?